Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Nightly Death, where I try to answer common questions that might help you with a passing that you're coming up on, whether it be your own shit, sorry, whether it be your own or a loved one. I'm here to answer questions that might help you to feel better about that passing. I answer this because of my own situation. It caused me to have a unique viewpoint that I can answer some of these questions. Okay, so again, no questions submitted, so I'm going off the list, and this is actually the last little bit of this current list, so then I'll have to find a new one. So please submit all questions, jkennedy7689@gmail.com. Thank you. Okay, so where will I go when I die? Well, I think I've stated before that I'm a religious person. So I will go to judgment. And then from judgment, my hope in Jesus is that I will be saved and go to heaven. My hope is that I haven't continued to sin, even though I've turned from it, and go to hell. But with how people have been making me feel lately with my damn, oh man, how people have been making me feel with my anger, I don't know anymore. Um, what am I willing to die for? And before it used to be a lot of things. I was willing to die for a lot of things. Not now, not so much because nobody's willing to give me even the time. So why would I be willing to die for them? But at the same time, I'm still willing to die for them because why would I want somebody to go through the pain and torment that I'm going through or something like that? So, what I am willing to die for is to save another, not so they keep their legs or so they get to win $100 million or something like that. No, you can kiss my ass on both of those. Not gonna happen. But if somebody's got a gun pointed at you, am I gonna jump in front of the way? Yes, I fully believe I would. Especially if it's my wife. If it's my wife, you're lucky I even let you get the gun up. But so that's what I'm willing to die for. I'm willing to die to save another. Am I afraid of death? Well, if you guys haven't learned this by now, it's really sad. Why are you still watching? But it's quite obvious that I am very unafraid of death. Death has nothing. I couldn't care less. There's times I beg it to happen. But death is too much of a pansy to really do anything. Jesus done has me covered, so he's too scared. Too much of a pansy. But yeah, no, it's not afraid of death. What I get afraid of, what what I get afraid of is not even so much how I'm gonna go out. Is it gonna be peaceful or is it gonna be painful? It's not even so much that. It's how am I gonna go out? Am I gonna go out alone? Am I gonna go out being loved? Am I gonna go out with somebody? It's that sort of thing. Um, what situations would cause me to welcome death? Do I really need to answer that one, guys? This situation, having to live like this daily, even if you still haven't truly grasped or fully accepted me saying this as if it's truth. If you don't believe this is truth, then stop watching. This is my truth. I've even I call it my nightmare, but it's not really a nightmare in the sense that I dream about it. It's something that scares the living piss out of me, and I couldn't even put an image to it for the longest time. But recently, I wrote a horror story about it. I was able to put some words to it, and then I drew a picture about it. And it's essentially my nightmare in a visual form. And to oh shoot, hey, time to do the vlog video. To keep others from ever having to see that in me because it's a personal nightmare. So if they were to see that come out in me, then that would be something I think I would cause it to welcome me quicker. Because like I said, I'm already welcoming it. I hope I'm not getting confused now. Anyways, um, the question was what situations would cause me to welcome death, right? Anyways, so this situation caused me to welcome it, but I think I would actively seek it out if I started showing that nightmare more often. Um, what would I say to a friend or family member who is facing death? I have what I consider one friend who is probably a good. No, I can't say that. There's two. There's just the one I always forget to count because I don't count him as a friend. He's not even family. He is. He's my saint. But he knows about it far too well. I mean, he's from like Vietnam era. So he knows death far too well. So there's no point even trying to talk to him about it. And then the other friends, like double my age, he doesn't know it as deeply as I do, but he knows it pretty well. So there's no point talking to him either. And then as far as actual family members, no. Like I just found out today, it's even worse than it was. My mother apparently has been crying over the past couple of days because I haven't been talking to her. She hasn't even tried to reach out to me. She lied to the person she said that to so they would try to guilt trip me into it. She straight up lied to him. But so I have no family. I would say that too, except for my grandma. But my grandma's had witnessed her husband, friends, family. So she's far used to it. And if anything, she's probably ready and willing to. My aunt, not so much, but at the same time, when you get to the extended like that, I tend not to care. It's me and my wife, and that's as far as I tend to go. The only reason why I threw my grandma in there is because my grandma's my sweetheart. um, what can I learn from the death of a loved one? Well, I can't learn anything because one, I don't have any loved ones except for the grandma and the aunt, I guess, and they're not dead. If they were to die, I'm already dead, so I don't care. But they talk about my grandma as if she's close. But with the way my memory is, I'm not going to remember enough to mourn. It's just going to drop on me occasionally. In times like this, when I vent to a video camera, it'll probably hit me, and you guys will have to watch me bawl like a little sissy. So, but I can't learn anything from the couple loved ones because the one is too young of an aunt, and she says she's going through a lot and whatnot, but what do I know? I don't see it. I don't know it. So to me, she doesn't have anything. But my grandma's up there in age and whatnot, so her I would be worried about. But I can't see how I would. I honestly can't see how I would learn anything except for from an interaction like this, where I can be like, okay, so with you dying, what's more important to you type thing, you know? If it was an interaction like that, I could see learning something, but me just dying and somebody going, oh, well, he did this, that's smart, I can't see that happening. That's exactly why I am doing this. Okay, and then, what can I learn from my own inevitable death? That death is a cruel, cruel mistress that doesn't use any lube and is really easy to hurt her feelings. No, my own imminent death, inevitable, my own inevitable death. I mean, I'm pretty much prepped for it every night. Lately, even I felt my body's been getting worse. I felt weaker. So we're going to try to make me be more active, like on the treadmill and whatnot. But I felt as though my body's getting weaker. I've said I'm trying to get a service dog now. My mentality's getting worse, not just with the dementia, but just period. As far as like dementia, or I just fucking said that. So my dementia's getting worse. My depression is getting worse. My anger management, this sort, anger management is getting worse. You know, it's all getting worse. It's all going downhill. Um, how can I prepare for death and dying? I mean, other than personally accepting it yourself, there's really nothing more you can do other than making sure everything's all set for your family. So if you want to be buried, make sure casket, burial plot, all that's worked out and whatnot. So when you are done, whoever you put in charge of everything, all they have to do is say, "Okay, do it, time." Or maybe even the funeral home's got connection to the hospital or something. They know when it happens, they can pick it up and whatnot. And your wife or your husband just has to hear about it happens on this day. I don't know, just taking that sort of worry off of somebody else, I think that's the best way to prepare. Making sure they know that you're at peace with everything. You closed up all your loose ends. You're at peace. You've worked stuff out for them. You know, taking any worries away from others that would be brought up because of you. That would be the best thing. Um, last, I think last question for today. Okay, yep. Last question for today and for this list. Does it mean to die well? And this one is 100% opinionated. That's because it's all about what do you consider well. I am going to go biblically, of course. I try to do everything biblically because I try to be as godly of a man as possible. I don't do as great of a job most times, but I try. So, I done forgot the question. Oh, to die well. So, what I will do is I will try to make sure I say prayers for anybody who's still on my mind because my memory's bad. If I can remember, I will try to make prayers for those who have wronged me, those who haven't made amends and are about to lose a chance to. I will pray for them. I will pray that in my passing, I am able to make amends. And personally, I pray that all the imageries, the thoughts I've had about how the kingdom is, I pray that it be mostly true. I pray that when I get to the kingdom, my dog's waiting there for me to guide me through. I get in there, God's like, haven't we seen you enough already? Bringing some humor to it. And then I get to see Jesus. I fall to my knees. I weep. And then they say, you've done a pretty good job for your late start. And then, and they welcome me and whatnot. That would be how I want to die. To me, that would be well. But I'm realizing now that doesn't mean well. That's just how I want to die. To die well. I think to die well would be to die in a way to where nobody can really say and mean anything negative about you. Like if they say something negative, you can only take it as a joke. Like you hear it and you just go, that's not right. Not oh, I didn't know that. No. I think that would be dying well, to where people, like if I try to think about my grandma as being some stuck up arrogant woman, no, it doesn't work. And it's one of those thoughts that's like, no, it doesn't work. My grandma's not even close to that. My grandma is a sweetheart. She is my sweetheart. But just things like that. Like me, when I die, I don't feel anybody's going to show up to my funeral. I feel it's going to be a closed casket event, because why open it? Nobody's going to be there. It'll probably be going on for about half an hour, until people say, screw it, what's the point? And then I'm going to be turned into ashes and added into a pot with a tree seed. So I think that's all that's going to happen for me. Half people won't even know I've died. The other half won't care. And I've come to peace with that. Because the people that don't care, why do I want them in my life? And the people that wouldn't know have showed me they don't want to be in my life. So either way, to me, I'm at peace with that. It doesn't mean dying well, but at the same time, I'm not dying with any of the blackness of that relationship, the toxicity of that relationship. There we go. So they're not bearing me down. I'm not bearing them down. Blah blah blah. Who are you? Who are you? Anyways, so anyways, that's all for that list. I'll try to find another list, and it'll probably have repeat questions, because there's only so many questions you can ask a dying person. And something I was gonna try to start for you guys, I almost forgot about, but I'm supposed to do my damage thought of the day. So let me try to pull that up for you real quick. Come on, work. Okay, Dablish thought of the day. There is no such thing as a bad or good idea, but simply an idea. It's up to people to interpret how they choose it to be good or bad. It's actually a pretty good thought. But that was the Dablish thought of the day. So, okay, this is the end of the episode, I think. So, thank you for stopping and watching through. If you have, remember, if you want to submit your questions, jkennedy7689@gmail.com. Thank you guys. Bye. Maybe. Okay.